The world is full of wonders.
Magic is waiting in small moments.
And monsters might be watching, just out of sight.
But if you're looking to find them,
adventure is waiting to happen.
You never know who you'll meet along the way.
We are the Storyteller Squad. Hello, adventurers. Welcome back to the Storyteller Squad. Thanks for joining us for more Monster of the Week. Before we begin, let's check in with our heroes.
For these demon princes, the world is not enough. I'm Damien Edgecrest.
I really hope we make it out of this one unscathed so we can live to die another day. I'm Raven Eugenia.
Diamonds are forever, except the ones that just waltzed out the door. Thanks a lot, old man. I'm Ariel Valentine.
It has come to my attention that when dealing with the Fae, I'm apparently Dr. No. However, as I'm currently on Her Majesty's Secret Service, hopefully I can be a Spectre and we can solve this without needing to exercise my license to kill. I'm Hugo Rashad.
Oh,
Fucking king! Oh my god!
Yes! Was that 4 or 5?
Extra credit a day.
Gold star for you.
I think a day deserves like +1 forward ongoing for that. Like, what in the fuck?
I'll give you +1 forward for that intro.
You're welcome, homie.
Everyone's kind of lost focus, but I've got my golden eye on the case. I'm Aidan Brightwood.
I've had a couple risky gambles. Nothing's quite gone to plan, but I'd like to think my resolve is only shaken, not stirred. I'm Whittaker. Lonnie Whittaker. Let's have an adventure.
Yes!
Yes!
Last time, our heroes traveled to the deep to help a Selkie retrieve her contract from King O in order that she might quit because she is worried about the fact that many of her co-workers have been going missing. We know that the famed explorer, Aaron Pike, is up to some dubious work with King O funding his expeditions. And at the Deep's grand reopening, our heroes ran into several persons of note, celebrities, local political figures, and other local crime bosses, and had very tense interactions, including some amongst their own party, as tensions are high in this very high-stakes environment. So, hunters, we left off with you all gathering to have a meeting. So what do you do?
Get DJ Chimera's signature. I don't know about you guys. I gotta get autographs.
Damien, I have to stress we are still on the clock.
What happened to your jacket?
It was for a bit. A very, very important bit.
You're doing bits with Phoebe Wickett's masterpieces.
I think at that moment, Raven rejoins the group, and her dress is significantly shorter than it was when you guys got there.
Seems you're not the only person experiencing wardrobe issues.
No one told me there was strip poker.
What happened, Raven?
It was an accident with some food. It's fine. I'll apologize to Phoebe later. I think it kind of looks cute like this, though. I don't know.
It's cute. I mean, I'm biased, though. I think you can pull off anything.
Thanks.
I feel so bad. It's just too late to try to put it on at this point. But the Meridian is actually a really friendly guy. I don't know if you guys want to meet him. He's pretty busy, but...
You talked with him?
Yeah, we were playing cards. Dude hates King Octopus. It was really funny. But yeah, definitely working for the place apart.
All right, so not a great combination.
I mean, if you look past that, he's fine.
Hard to look past that. We're supposed to be finding a contract for Miss Beckett.
I've got some tags on Mason Wright so we can get an idea of what the security is doing at any given point. Got blueprints of the place. We just need someone to start poking around, I suppose.
Don't everyone volunteer at once?
The problem is we're all so high profile.
Where do we think the contracts are actually being held?
Whittaker can pull up a map of the place.
I'm so incredibly sorry to interrupt, but why the fuck am I here?
Oh, hey.
You're here because I don't know what to do with you yet.
You could just let me go.
Hey, you're a thief. Can you help us steal stuff?
Damien,
You got payment?
Not taking you in again?
Yeah, we could not arrest you again. How's that sound?
Or you could consider returning a favor. No offense, those books are covered in some pancake stuff that I was unable to get rid of. And, well, yeah.
Damn it, Hugo.
Plus, the real paycheck is the stuff you steal along the way.
as members of the Eastie Agency, we are not condoning stealing.
Except for the contracts.
As a member of not the EC agency, I am condoning stealing.
Hugo, you can say that off the record.
She's kind of smirking at Hugo a little bit, specifically looking at him, ignoring everybody else, and goes, "Yeah, I suppose I owe you one. Sorry about the books."
There are worse things.
Natalie, we're in a VIP booth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would I roll investigate a mystery or read a bad situation to see if the area is potentially bugged?
Probably read a bad situation because Val is in a bad situation. She's been detained yet again by the same group of agents that keep stumbling into her life.
It's fucking annoying.
I think she's stumbled back in our life. At least this time.
I was dragged, first of all, against my will. That's a 5. Never mind, but I get some work experience.
And I get some hold against you.
Oh, bitch. God help me.
Let's see.
Is it a 5, though? It could be a 7.
Actually, there are plenty of people here who are also invested in this place not being bugged.
That's a fair point.
Mel, would you like someone to help you out on this, or do you like the idea of failing? Because this is also a fun thing to fail at.
I would be down for the help.
Let's say this. Whittaker, you could investigate a mystery. This is less a bad situation for you.
Yeah, we'll keep those mechanically separate, yeah.
Yeah, we have not really gotten to a point where you guys could just automatically go, I help out, right?
Yeah, that's valid. That's fair. I think instead then, in order to give Whittaker the justification, she's very clearly looking around the room, trying to find traces of something. And I feel like it clicks in Whittaker's head, maybe like, oh, she might be looking for something that's bugged.
Yeah, we'll say that counts as one thing. Whittaker will notice you looking around for things observing you, and you're not being subtle about that.
Not at all.
I'm going to ask you to either tell me now or tell me when it feels appropriate something that Val will do or that will happen to Val that puts you on the back foot with Rogue Team.
What do you mean by back foot?
Meaning every time you've interacted with them, it's sort of been this tense back and forth. I want you to come out of this interaction really feeling like maybe I do owe these people a little something.
Okay. Oh, I'll have to think about that.
And then a third bad thing is going to happen to Val, which I will reveal later.
In the vein of Val failing to notice bugs and also being in tension with Rogue Team, can I say something that Val doesn't find?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. I like that.
A small pearl bug lodged into the sleeve of their jacket.
Ooh.
You motherfucker! I love that. I love you. Go to hell.
Flashback to Whittaker gripping her arm and also just slowly sliding another tracker in there.
Mm-hmm.
You little punk ass bitch. I love you. God, how dare.
So Whittaker gets a tracker on you and notices you looking around for traces and having missed his. At some point tonight, you end up on the back foot and something bad will happen. That's the 3.
Okay.
I will remind you all too that because of the schematics that you got last session, you know that there is a building of office space attached to the deep. So if you wanted to go exploring that other building, you could send people to go do that.
Say about the other building we could explore?
It's just the managerial offices of this large casino nightclub complex.
It's heist time, baby.
Last time we did a heist, it took us 3 weeks of planning.
The stakes have been raised. Think on your feet, Rogue Team.
I mean, the stakes feel a lot lower, actually.
And you know what? I'm going to spend one of my hold from last week to introduce another complication, Hugo.
I know.
As your friends are analyzing the blueprints and looking and trying to come up with a plan of attack that will not get them thrown out, because as we know, any step out of line, Mason Wright's going to try and get you all ejected from the venue. But Hugo, you catch over someone's shoulder as you're in this little group huddle. Drake Fowler is walking through the space and attentively listening to him and engaging in party banter is Miranda Rashad, the Portland chief of paranormal affairs.
That's a later problem. I'm not going to worry about that right now. It's a later problem.
Is it? Okay. Cool.
Do we know as a group that that's Hugo's mom?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
And Damien did mention that she was here when he was like doing the call out.
Yep.
So we know she's in attendance and we know that's Hugo's mom.
If anyone else wants to notice it, that's... Fowler's not being subtle, and neither is Miranda. She's got like a cool, sequined dress kind of a thing on. She's being very, very glitzy for this public event.
So their food spread and appetizers aren't exactly the components I'm used to working with. But if we're trying to get secret infiltrating, I can try to astral project with some hors d'oeuvres. If someone's okay with like keeping an eye on my unconscious limp body and making that inconspicuous.
I did see a fondue fountain. You could do like a deconstructed s'more.
That's a start, thank you.
Oh, it sounds so messy.
Oh yeah, because it's probably not going to work the first time either, so...
Oh boy.
Christ. All right, do we have any other ideas? Mason's got his eyes on me, Raven, and Aidan right now, which is not great.
Oh, you were talking with Mason? Oh, that's great.
Talking's one word for it.
How is he? Is he as cool in real life as he is in the ring?
He's,
Not very happy with us.
Aw.
Actually, Whittaker's gonna flip the dial or like switch channels on his little earpiece. And he's gonna listen into Mason's chatter just to see if
Ooh.
he's heard anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You catch the middle of a conversation. You know I can't leave his arm very long.
I know. I'm just saying, I'm having a hell of an evening. It would be nice to catch up later tonight. We haven't had a chance to talk for a while.
We're both doing what we have to in order to make this work. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I have to go.
You take care of yourself, okay?
Aidan will reach over and just turn off the listening device.
Oh, now I feel bad.
Aidan says to you, Whittaker, we have to remember that not everyone who works here wants to. Gangs are like that. And she will shoot a look over at Valentine.
Valentine is just scowling in the corner. Or they're getting duped the entire time.
So you're saying it'd probably be unprofessional to get Mason's autograph?
Yeah, probably.
There's so many big name celebrities here. Oh, I hate being on the clock.
Wasn't this supposed to be your day off and you chose to come in?
Look, I was gonna, but then just helping out Hugo, and now there's a Selkie involved, and I figured I might as well get paid for it if I was gonna be helping out anyway.
We're glad you're here, Damien. I'm sorry you can't get their autographs.
It's fine, we'll just keep making good impressions, I guess.
It sounded like you had a pretty good interaction with the Meridian.
Yeah, his bodyguards look like they were pretty well taken care of. I wonder if he pays better than the agency.
Were you made?
No, being a made man is like a whole process. There's a whole ceremony. You got to prove your loyalty.
As an agent.
She's asking if your cover was blown, idiot.
You guys had covers?
We're not secret agents. We're just agents. I don't have a cover. There's only my regular face. I'm just Damien Edgecrest. I can't pretend I'm not me, so I might as well leverage it to my advantage.
Valentine very pointedly rolls her eyes at this whole conversation. She is Grumpy Cat.
Aidan says to you, Whittaker, Raven and I are pretty high profile, but I can make us disappear. We could slip in a different entrance to the building.
And you can get out quickly. It's a bit risky, but I don't hate it. Hey, now, did you see Corey was here?
Yeah, she's here with Phoebe and Rianne.
I wonder if she could do a little illusion work for us if we ask nicely enough.
You could ask her, but that's involving a civilian.
So why am I here? Aren't I a civilian?
No, you're a criminal.
Criminals are still civilians. I technically count as both too, Whittaker.
That is not the same.
If we do this anything like last time, she and I aren't technically here.
Speaking of civilians who shouldn't be here, Amity snuck into the party too.
Oh, nice.
I was wondering when she'd show up.
Aidan puts another stressed hand through her hair.
I think before Raven even says that, she's reached over to try and pre-console Aidan. Just already knowing mentioning her is gonna stress her out more.
You just see her white knuckling fists on the table.
Yeah.
Well, that's excellent. That's someone who King Octopus has never even seen before.
Great, so why don't you ask her to break in?
Kingo absolutely knows about her. He's seen her face before, or at least has heard of her. You don't remember that time where Lanon took you guys and talked about you guys?
Oh, right.
There were descriptions, but Amity and Felicity, I don't think are quite the same anymore.
They fall under a similar description from someone who doesn't know them.
That hair, I'm just saying.
She's at least disguised.
I was expecting this to be nothing but a boon, but I suppose we're not all on board.
Raven just glances at Aidan.
Yeah, she like bites her lip and then says, Amity isn't an agent and she doesn't understand all of the pieces on the board at this party. She's made herself another one that could be taken advantage of if she runs into the wrong people here.
She's super magical. I'm not worried. Why don't we get her up to speed? Give her a job. Not a job, a task.
Why don't we ask her to watch your body then? She can stuff you in a closet.
Aidan.
Do you have a better idea? We have to put him somewhere when it looks like he's too drunk to stand up.
Having him unconscious out in the open, he might get thrown out if they think he's drunk.
Yeah, they're right. I don't have a better idea, and a closet is out of the way.
And undisturbed, since you're, vulnerable when you're astral projecting.
Yeah, let's get some fondue, some whipped cream, some oyster crackers, and see what we can do.
Damien, can you communicate while you're astral projecting?
I think we established that you can't.
Yeah.
You had said in the Yosemite arc that you were mouthing, but no sound was coming out. So yeah, I don't think your ghost form can speak.
Damien, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to astral project and find where the contracts are, and that's it. Is that understood?
Aye, aye, Captain.
Are Raven and I going to go snoop around too?
I think so. If we've got someone looking ahead, then you'll know exactly where to teleport in and out of.
Okay.
Yeah, the more we can split up, the better.
God damn it, Darius.
I was gonna say it's the worst thing in D&D, but honestly, it's kind of what you gotta do for a heist. Mm-hmm. Everybody has to split up.
Well, if that's the case, pretty sure you guys don't need the civilians anymore.
I mean, we kind of need one civilian to watch the other civilian, and she's gonna glance between Hugo and Val.
I mean, there's a 0% chance that things are going to go off without a hitch. So the more people we have in the area, the better, even if, you're not actively doing something.
People referring just to you, Hugo. I don't trust this one to be a backup of any kind. Whittaker's looking at Val.
Too quick to judge, Whittaker. Too quick to judge.
Let's see. What's the name you're going by right now?
Nunya.
Fuck you.
I'm so sorry.
Whittaker just gestures.
See? They say stupid shit all the time.
This is what I have to put up with. Do you see what I do?
Holding myself back from using your full name.
If you want my help so badly, giving me context might help. You're looking for contracts? For what reason?
We're trying to help someone out of a bad situation that they feel stuck in.
Ooh. Aidan mentioning that someone's trying to get out of a situation they don't want to be in, striking a nerve just a little bit.
As it should.
Mm-hmm.
I think Whittaker is just kind of biting back a retort because he doesn't want to get hit by Aidan's, soothe shut up ability.
Ooh.
That's fair.
He's got to keep his cool.
Mm-hmm.
Raven is probably the most clued into this. Aidan is stressed the heck out.
Mm-hmm.
She's had to try and pull this team back together and get you all back on mission in a very distracting, loud environment. Her kid is here. She just had to deal with paparazzi interrogating her over her relationship. She's not having a good time tonight. So there is an element to which I, Natalie, am pushing the plot forward, but it's also Aidan wanting to be done with this meeting and kind of just go do something is kind of the headspace she's in.
Yeah. And the sooner we get it done, the sooner we can leave.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this whole conversation, Raven's just been subtly trying to keep Aidan calm.
I just want to be doing something that feels productive right now, because if I sit here doing nothing, I'm going to lose it.
I know, you're so stressed.
I could appreciate that sentiment a little more if I wasn't being forced into a bad situation myself right now.
Okay, honestly, how do you see this going? You blew the chance I gave you to walk away, so it's not happening this time.
You could rearrest me, and I could tell your boss that you willingly let me go. I'm sure that would earn you a wonderful severance check.
You wouldn't dare.
Oh, I would.
Are you really gonna try and blackmail us after everything we did for you?
You're a real piece of work, Miss Valentine.
Children, play nice.
Make no mistake, Elphaba. If you try to rearrest me, I will rat you out.
Fine. But you're not leaving my side for the rest of the night. I'm not going to have you robbing the people of Portland.
Are you sure you're not obsessed with me?
Are you sure she should be by your side if you don't want her being seen by your boss?
Are you sure she can't rob some of the people at this place?
Aidan stands up from the table.
I'm sorry.
Valentine is not the mission tonight. We are here to get a Selkie's coat back to her. Anything else is a problem for another time. Let it go, Whittaker.
I think Val just covers her mouth with her hand, and somebody hears her under her breath go, "Damn, Glinda's got a wicked side."
I'm gonna go get what I need from the buffet.
We'll find Amity. Let's go, Raven. Aidan will take your hand, Raven, and she'll leave following Damien over to the food so you guys can try and find Amity and get those two connected.
Mm-hmm.
Whittaker just sends out a little keep me updated over the comms and turns back to Val. Does a big, deep sigh. She's not in charge. Val, you're not leaving my side for the rest of the night. Understood?
So she makes this very serious pursed lip pout and does a salute to say yes.
God, you're insufferable.
So I've been told multiple times now.
Not to interrupt your date, but we have some stuff to get done. Mine already kind of got messed up, and I would like to at least have made it worth it.
What do you need out of this night, Hugo?
For you guys to make it through this without having some type of catastrophe?
Really no promises on that one.
Oh no, I'm going to make sure of it now. I'm sticking to both of you, making sure you guys don't do anything terrible.
My plan was to go out and be expressly not terrible for the evening.
And I suppose I'm being held hostage, so I might as well make the best out of it.
Just a little bit. You've done pretty well with Stockholm Syndrome.
Oh, God.
Children, please, I beg you.
Sorry, setup was so good.
These two are oil and water. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Hugo has to babysit. He has to chaperone.
As he says that, he is looking over in the direction of his mom, and he's like, this is going to be one of those nights.
Yeah, your mom and Fowler are now at like one of the private booths, and it's just the two of them sitting there chatting. They've got some drinks with them.
He's going to take out his phone and just send her a quick text saying, when you have a second later today, we need to talk. Or tomorrow. Or sometime this week.
She gets the text, and a minute or so goes by. She's like still chatting with Fowler, but she does text back, "I'm at an event tonight. Tomorrow is probably easier."
He's going to respond okay, but he's going to take a picture of them and send that in the response.
Okay. You can see she checks her phone again, and she apologizes to Drake Fowler like, "I'm so sorry, just one moment." And she checks the message, does a double take, and then starts scanning the room. And I think she sees you. She knows her kid. Like, she's going to try and spot you in this crowd. And as she's like getting up, Fowler will like get up with her out of the booth, and the two of them start walking over to the table. And just before your mom and Fowler reach the table, Hugo, Anya slides over. And she says, "Hugo, I'm getting a little overwhelmed. I could use..." And then your mom comes up and she says, "Good to see you, honey. Is this..." And she gestures at Anya.
Yes, this is Her Majesty Anya of the Summer Court.
Anya glances between the two of you. Her eyes go wide, like unnaturally wide pupils. She almost becomes more elven for a moment. And she just says, "Hi."
She's a bit overwhelmed right now, Mrs. Rashad. It's going to be a moment.
You just Miss Rashad, your mom?
Your mom covers her mouth with her hand, and she just says, "It's a pleasure to meet you, honey. I will come back and talk to you later. Mr. Fowler and I were just engaging in some business."
I wish you both the best of luck on your business. We have to go. He's going to scurry out of there. He's also going to grab Whittaker and Val and pull them away.
Hugo, why is your mom doing business with Drake Fowler?
Valentine was very pointedly not looking in Fowler's direction, just on the offhand chance that he would recognize her.
Mm-hmm. Fowler, just as you're leaving, Hugo, again tips a non-existent hat, and he says, "Pleasure to run into you again, Mr. Rashad."
Wonderful to run into you as well. I will have to take you up on that offer of visiting your establishment. We'll talk later.
And you leave Miranda and Drake to their conversation.
And he is visibly sweating.
Anya's eyes are still like big, and she's just sort of like got her hands like folded in front of her as you like escort her along. I messed that up. I should have said something else.
I should have.
Now she thinks I'm like some stuck up, like royal. Oh my God.
Oh.
She only thinks good things of you. Don't worry about it.
Hugo, are you okay?
Nope. But that's not important right now. So
He's dating a princess. I wouldn't be all right either.
I need some air.
Val, you really don't have room to talk about dating.
Oh, shit! Bruh!
Hugo, that's your mom. Are you sure you don't want to intervene?
the kind of intervention I need to do, I cannot do at this moment because we are in a public place and I do not trust myself right now with that.
Right, but if she makes a deal with him, that's not something that can be walked back particularly easily.
If she makes a deal with him, he is going to regret it so much. But that's not something I need to worry about right now.
I think I need to go outside for a minute. She looks like she's about to pass out.
Okay, I take back what I said. You two try to not cause any scenes. We're gonna go take a walk. And it's gonna hopefully go off somewhere.
There's balconies that, there's like open windows that sort of like wrap in a spiral around the outside of this building, the way the stairs wrap on the inside downwards to the like lower levels now.
To the balconies.
Okay. Amity,
Yeah.
let's check in with you.
Yeah. I did say last time that I wanted Amity to catch up with Mira after her little tiff with Raven.
We can have the two of you check in with each other.
Okay.
We'll say that like you two find a moment in the walk-in, as many service people do.
In the walk-in freezer.
Yep, when they have had an issue at work on their ship.
Perfect.
And I think we cut to like you two shivering in the freezer where they have like the ahi tuna and the like ice cream and the different like things that have to stay frozen.
Yeah, I think it's like mid-combo too, so she's already like explained like, oh, Raven and Aidan know that I'm here. But I think it kind of picks up with, we really got to pick up the pace, because also there was this lady who was like asking me a lot of questions, and I think she might suspect that like, I don't work here, so we got to figure something out quick.
Well, this is your mission. I am doing my best just to stay in character and not get outed for not actually knowing what I'm doing. She reaches over and like picks up like a frozen thing of seaweed. She's like, what is this? People eat this?
I don't know, put it back. Just don't worry about it right now.
Drops it. I can try and cover for you with the managers and the staff if you want to disappear for a little bit.
Maybe. It's just, we haven't found a solid answer about where the back office is. So, like, I have a general idea of what to look for, but I don't know where to go look for it.
I don't have that map either, Amity, so we maybe should have had a better plan coming into this.
Would have been easier to have a better plan if they would have let me help from the beginning.
She hugs you, but like you can kind of tell she's doing it to keep warm. She just says, as she's like trembling, she's like, I think you have a really big heart and are trying to help your friends, and if they can't accept that, then they need to get over their shit.
Things are just complicated now, especially now that I know that we've been gone for 2 whole years. I mean, I get it. I get that they don't trust me right now, and that just, it makes me need to prove to them even more that they can. I feel really bad too about getting snappy at Raven. I just, 2 years ago, we were running from the agency, not working for them. It's weird. Anyway, that's not the point. Let's go back out there. We'll figure something out, but we gotta get moving.
Mira pulls out of the hug. She has her hands on your shoulders. And she says, very seriously, suddenly, this like talk about you and Raven's relationship, she's like now completely still, almost like mystically so. And she says, "You changed a lot. I don't think it's fair to expect her not to have."
She just like takes a big breath in and sighs and just, yeah, I guess you're right.
Your feelings are valid, and I know if you go out there with the best of intentions, you will work things out. Now, I would like to feel my hooves again, so let's at least get out of the freezer.
Let's get you out of here. I'm sorry. Thank you for talking with me.
I love you, Amity Starnbrook. And she will give you a kiss on the forehead, and the two of you can leave.
And then she grabs a tray of food and heads out to the fondue table, or the chocolate fondue table. Was that what it was?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a tray of strawberries and cheese and other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Damien, you're at the fondue table.
Damien has got a little dessert plate loaded with various marshmallows that he's dipped in chocolate and got lined up on the plate with some various graham crackers that he's also dipped in chocolate as well. But I like the idea that just because he has all the ingredients doesn't mean it's going to work the way he intends it, because there's sort of the fire element I feel is primal and necessary. So he has to steal, you know how they have the buffet trays? There's the little flames underneath that keep all the food warm.
Mm-hmm.
I think the tricky part is going to be stealing one of those as one of the material components. And that's probably where he's doing the most looking around. Okay, when's the best time to yoink one of these and run to a side room and keep an eye out for Amity?
Aidan and Raven approach you, Amity. They like spend a minute looking for you and walk over. And Aidan says, because this is the first time she said anything to you, right? She walked away before. It was only you and Raven talked.
Yeah, Aidan saw Amity. Amity did not see Aidan. Amity did see Raven. And if Raven's here, obviously Aidan's here.
Duh.
Yeah. So Aidan walks up and she says, excuse me, I have a friend who's not feeling well. Do you think you could help? She'll point at Damien subtly.
She goes, oh, yeah, of course. And she'll go over to Damien, put a hand on his back and go, sir, I heard you're not feeling well. If you want to come with me this way, we have somewhere where you can sit down for a little while.
Oh, yes, that would be perfect. This food is upsetting my stomach, but I am still going to need more of it.
Raven can take the plate out of Damien's hands and put a hand on his back to try and help lead him away, but carry the plate for him.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Natalie, could she lead them? I'm sure that there's like an employee break lounge or something, right?
Probably. Or there's like conference rooms, I suppose, is what you call them.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, so she'll lead them to one of these like empty conference room or something like that and make sure everyone else goes inside first, make sure no one's watching, close the door behind them, locks the door if there's a lock.
Can one of you magic people light this flame for me? He gestures to the little Bunsen burner light that he stole.
Raven's gonna glance at Amity.
Amity will just point out a finger and just like lightly tap it and it'll spark and then light up on fire.
Perfect. And here goes nothing. Damien will begin taking his little toothpick and waving it in the wand gestures of a little bit of marshmallow coated in chocolate and smushing it on the graham cracker and bottoms up.
Roll use magic. Once you're in this sort of separated space, Aidan looks at you, Amity, and she says, Amity, we need you to watch over Damien. He's about to leave his body.
Leave his body?
It's a spell he knows.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
How angry does Aidan seem to Amity?
The words she's saying are very cordial, but there is no emotion in her voice.
Yeah.
She is saying the nice things, but they don't sound nice. They sound just kind of flat and robotic.
That is a total of 10.
Woo.
And as you are trying to intuit how Aidan might be feeling, Damien collapses and falls into a platter of chocolate and fruit.
Oh, we should have moved the plate first.
He's going to have a bruise.
I hope it was the marshmallows he landed on at least, so it was kind of soft.
Just like a marshmallow half in his mouth. Aidan has to go fish it out, make sure he doesn't choke on it.
His shirt catches on fire.
Can we say that as he collapses, we kind of scoot the sterno can away so he doesn't light on fire, but in doing that, his face still hits all of his food and hits the table.
Yeah.
The image kills me every time of him just like ragdolling instantly.
Amity looks extremely concerned.
It's okay. That's supposed to happen.
If you say so.
He's astral projecting.
Okay. Could Amity see Damien?
Oh.
Because she's got the sight.
Interesting.
You do have the sight. I think the noise draws your attention to like his body hitting the loud pan and, you know, things spilling and stuff. But as you like look around the room, you see sort of floating, getting his bearings above the unconscious form of Damien is this ghostly green, sort of amorphous humanoid shape with the many red and yellow eyes sort of just floating through it like shapes on a mist.
Whoa. Well, okay then, Damien. Hi. She kind of just like waves.
You gotta describe it, Durs. You gotta describe it.
Yeah. The green blob will put together a little appendage on the left side and give the appendage a wiggle. It's not like refined. He is a gas amongst other gases, so it's all cloud. But yeah, he'll give a wave, and then his eyes will look around the room and will say that Damien paid attention to the map and the blueprints that we were looking out at this place that we've been prepping for quite some time. So he will float through the appropriate wall, ceiling, or floor in the proper direction.
Okay. Damien's astral form floats out of the room. Aidan will fiddle with the skirt portion of her dress to sort of like raise up the hemline so it's no longer a train, but just like a cocktail length like Raven's.
Smart.
And she will take Raven's hand and she says, "We'll be back. Don't leave, please."
Sure. Okay.
Before they go, Raven will just look at Amity and like very genuinely just say, "Thanks for helping, Amity.
Of course.
Good luck."
You too.
Whittaker, let's return to you and Val. Your team is on the case. Hugo is indisposed with personal matters. You're here with this lady you do not like. What do the two of you do?
I think Hugo leaves with Anya to go get some air. And Whittaker, I guess begrudgingly, sort of gestures Val to follow him and says, "All right, let's go make a scene. And I'm going to go find King Octopus."
Okay. You find him at one of the bars, doing an odd thing as the proprietor of like waiting to get his drink from the bartender. And you see Morgan Wright is also there. She's just sort of on a phone, like arms folded next to him. But Kingo isn't even paying attention to her. He is chatting up Vanessa Black, who is also leaning on the bar. And she's like got her finger in a little martini glass and just sort of like swirling it around and like looking very flirtatious. And you don't really catch the full conversation, but then he will extend a hand and his arm just suddenly becomes a long octopus tentacle, which like slithers into one of the like other smaller tanks around, loops around a fish and pulls it back. And then he like hands it to Vanessa, who takes it and starts to snack on it. Like he gave her like a little hors d'oeuvre or something.
Val, you hear Whittaker just under his breath. Gross.
Tell me about it. She does kind of stop though, and she goes, "Hold on a second. I need to refresh my makeup if we're going over there. Vanessa Black and I have a past."
Is there anyone here you don't have a past with?
Ooh. Sorry, we don't kink shame here.
Wow.
Thanks, Durs.
Thought I was muted.
No, you were not. Wow.
It makes it so much better.
Wow.
A gift.
Durs, a gift, a treasure to us all.
He says that, but he does nod. Like, he sees, like, the recognition, and the whole point is he doesn't want you to be recognized either.
She just kind of gives him this pointed look and goes, everybody knows everybody in this industry. If you want to approach him, be my guest, but I'm hanging back here. I won't go anywhere.
I'll know if you do.
She's continuing to kind of like mock him a little bit. She just stands statue still really briefly as if to be like a soldier at attention, but without doing like the salute and everything. But she's staying put.
All right. Yeah, I suppose I'll, he's got a girl on both sides. I can't like cut between this man.
You could try and talk to Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
Poor Morgan.
Actually, yeah, let's do that. That's a really good suggestion. He'll sidle up beside her and order something generic and James Bondy from the bartender.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of look over at her and say, "Can I get you anything?"
She kind of looks up from her phone in surprise, and she sees you and she says, "You're welcome to, but I don't have to pay for anything here already."
That makes my night easier.
She smiles. "Do I know you?"
I doubt it.
She's trying to put together maybe why you're here, why you're talking to her. Like, who would have the audacity to talk to King O's date, even though he's ignoring her? But like, who would just sidle on up and start talking to me? "Morgan Wright, pleasure to meet you, sir." And she'll offer her hand.
He takes her hand, nods respectfully, and says, "Whittaker, Lonnie Whittaker."
She smiles, and again, her like fanged incisors flash. And when you say your name, some of the like snakes in her like little updo kind of. And she says, "Oh, now that name does sound familiar. I think my husband knows you."
I'd say we're familiar. The transformation's really astounding. I remember back when the Deep was nothing but a dive bar. Gorgeous event tonight, though. It's a shame about the staffing issue.
When you say staffing issue, she does sort of tense a little more. And she takes a sip of her drink and kind of holds it, and some of her snakes take little licks at the rim. And she says, "We have had an issue with some of the girls going missing. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Mr. Whittaker?"
Can't say that I do, but I also can't say it doesn't concern me. On opening night, and 6 employees of the place haven't shown up. Seems a little suspicious.
"I didn't realize you were a regular. Not many people would notice that much staff not in attendance."
You said your husband's familiar with me, so you know we've got eyes on this place.
Ooh. She sets her drink down on the counter and almost goes to lean in, like she's about to tell you something else, and a hand takes her shoulder, moves her back and into like a sort of like one-armed embrace as King O has turned around, and he says, "Everyone's got eyes on the Deep tonight, Whittaker. It's a party. I've paid to have people pay attention. How's your evening going, sir?"
Beautiful opening you've got tonight here, John.
"Well, it better be. We've paid quite a nice price for it. But I'd say it's doing what it's intended to.
And what would that be?
Why, turning the Deep into the greatest supernatural hot spot in the city. Everyone should think of us first when they consider whether they're going to have a good time each evening."
Not the first boat that's claimed has been too big to fail.
Morgan struggles, she's uncomfortable with this guy, but the arm becomes the tentacle again and like encircles her, like almost wraps down to like where her like snake lower half begins. And he says, "Any dream you put your heart into, I think that's worth fighting for. Wouldn't you agree? I've got one to spare, as it were." That's an octopus anatomy joke.
Whittaker just does a slow nod and takes a sip of his drink. I want to get something out of this guy, but I'm not sure how. If anyone's got ideas or things to throw.
You want to initiate a card game, right?
I do.
I would think along those lines. He's bragging right now. You could try and play into his, like, ego a little bit.
Yeah.
It's quite a dream, John. I don't suppose you're planning on partaking in any of the games tonight?
Well, I thought it'd be rude to take a spot at one of the tables. But if you're inviting, of course I don't know if you could afford the buy-in on an agency's salary.
You'd be surprised the sort of pockets Olivia's been reaching her hands into lately. Or maybe you wouldn't.
Ooh.
Ha! I'm sure I would be. But far be it from me to stand between a man willing to lose his money at my casino.
I won't deny I've made some poor bets on you in the past, John. But if I sit down at a table with you tonight, I won't be gambling. I'll be playing.
He moves Morgan roughly to the side, releases the tentacle, and she catches her balance. And he closes the distance between the two of you, gets right up into your personal space, and big smile. You can see like a gold tooth. And he says,
Well then, let's play.
I pull him in and kiss him square on the lips.
Actually?
No. Whittaker takes a sip of his drink and says, horrible cologne, and leaves.
no,
Whittaker takes a sip of his drink and
Wait.
says, bet.
Yeah.
wait, time has frozen.
Time is frozen. We're in bullet time.
You have to allow me some time too. I get time to react.
Please. Please do. I'm being goofy.
You feel a cold tentacle wrap around your neck, and you are unable to pull away for a moment. In fact, it's a long moment. In fact, you find yourself needing to breathe through your nose as he continues to just vice grip hold you there. And when he releases, finally, he pulls away looking very, I wouldn't even say unfazed, but like he is already enjoying the game that is afoot here. And he says,
You should have saved that moment for if you win, darling.
He freezes up, looks a little panicked, but just for a moment as he sort of gauges King.
and he will walk towards one of the tables, clap his hands, and say, I'm putting a game together!
Val steps up behind Whittaker, pretending to not know him, but he just hears quietly behind her, You good?
Forgot the safe word. And Val, you see him shake a little bit as he goes to rub his neck, but not the bit that's now covered in little tentacle sucker marks. He's massaging closer to the collarbone, and he seems just kind of nervous.
I think we see Val's gloved hand articulate and then clench into a fist as she watches King O walk away. Natalie, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Could she have swiped some chips off of somebody while Whittaker was chit-chatting with King O?
I love that.
Yeah, because she needs to buy in somehow.
That's true, because you want to play as well. I will give you a choice.
Okay.
Do you want to roll for it now, or do you want to just take a mixed success?
What would I be rolling, the burglar thing?
Or act under pressure, I think. Don't they take the same skill?
I think so. No, the burglar move is with plus sharp.
Up to you. I'm offering you this bargain. You can take a mix, and that'll come with its price to pay, or you can try and roll and see if you know.
I'm going to roll burglar. I'm going to do it. I'm going to fucking do it. Oh, please, dice, please love me. Please love me. Okay, 2 5s plus 1, 11.
Okay. What do you get in a full success with burglar?
On a 10 plus, I pick 3 of the 4 options. Get in undetected, get out undetected, don't leave a mess, find what you were after. I feel like a mess is going to happen. So I'm going to say get in undetected, out undetected, find what you were after. Like maybe specifically knocks over a stand of clean plates and tries to play it off to create a mess. I don't know.
I know what the mess will be. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
You grab enough chips for the buy-in, and we'll settle the mess when it comes up.
Cool.
We're going to check in with Hugo outside. Hugo, you and Anya are on one of the spiraling balconies. Some sections have like a little covered overhang, others do not. There are decorative plant boxes along the edge to add sort of a very natural and just pleasant looking feel to this exterior. And she's just sort of in a very unroyal pose, almost as if she were seasick and like hanging over the side of a ship. She's just kind of like leaning over the railing, letting the breeze hit her face.
He is going to roll up beside her, also look out over the balcony, put an arm around her, just checking to see if she's okay.
She exhales deeply, almost like she'd maybe been holding her breath or just like slowly taking in breaths. And she says, "Thank you, shade of my heart.
Anytime.
You should really go. Your mother might be... I mean, I'm sure she's very capable, but Drake Fowler is a insidious talker."
He doesn't know what he's getting into. She has studied so many cultures. She's put up with my dad and my cousins for so long. Hell hath no fury.
She looks at you, her like eyes sort of are starting to go back down to normal, but they're a little like watery.
"Do you really think she likes me?"
1, how could she not? 2, we haven't talked about you much, but the tidbit she's gotten, she seems to approve, so I think luck is on your side.
I just worry. I mean, there's a lot of talk about people not, how it goes sometimes when they tell their human families that they're dating a folk, and it just, I've been so worried about it. And I didn't expect her to be here. Although I probably should have. I think I got a guest list,
Anya.
but I was... What?
Breathe.
Right.
Just breathe.
And she will sort of aimlessly run her hand through some of the greenery in one of the boxes. And anywhere she does, the leaves take on a little bit of a golden sheen and sort of grow a little extra. If it's a flowering plant, there's like more buds that appear and sort of spread into color and flashes of bright saturation. And she just stays there for a minute, forcing herself not to nervous talk. And she says,
Someday, I'd like to go to a party like this and not have to deal with any problems stemming from the two of us.
Someday. Might not happen the way we think, but hopefully. And you know what? If we find that we can't just go to one, we'll make one ourselves.
That might be the way. If we control the guest list, we can only invite people we like.
True, but what is life without a little bit of strife?
she says,
Like Savenwield.
and then she sort of catches herself and she says,
By which I mean boring.
It's far from boring. If anything, imagine what's going to happen when I meet your folks.
When that happens, I think it will introduce the most strife to Savenwield that they've seen for an age.
Well, I do have this horrible tendency of being a catalyst, so let's see what happens.
Oh!
she will lean her head into your shoulder and you feel her energy calm.
Warm like a summer night.
So fucking cute.
Our camera rises on the two of you up past several levels of balcony, up to the top of the building of the deep where there are vents and different exhaust chimneys and that sort of thing. And it flies over that building and then drops down to the roof of the adjoining managerial offices where we see in a gold flash, Raven and Aidan appear. I think when you appear on the roof, the chill of the autumn night air catches you both as you're now in just cocktail dresses. But she has her eyes closed still and just...
Okay, let's save a Selkie. Super simple.
Raven takes a sec to kind of shake herself out and kind of do the same thing of centering herself.
Mm-hmm.
Takes Aiden's hands. Let's do this.
As the two of you walk over to the edge of the rooftop, she says kind of casually,
At some point, we need a date night like this where we don't break into a highly secure facility. We could just have dessert.
Oh my god, yes! I wanted one of those chocolate strawberries so bad.
she will spread her wings, but she turns her glow down. So she's just human in appearance now, and her wings have none of the like light aspect to them. If I hold you, do you think you could get in a window?
Yes.
She'll step over and just sort of be there, floating in the air and off her hand.
She'll take it.
She lets you drop, but is holding you suspended by one arm, and will sort of like stagger her flight so that you guys stop like in front of a window, so you can maybe undo the lock.
I see.
You guys are breaking in.
Yes.
This is heist time.
Yeah, she will, as quickly as possible, try to get into the window that they're floating in front of.
Act under pressure.
Oh boy. That's a 7.
This is a very heist spy movie. You are like getting through the lock, right? And you get the latch and as you like get the window open, you like haven't crawled in the window yet. You're just sort of still like sliding it open as Aidan's got your other hand. And you hear her suddenly just go, "Raven, you can't scream," and lets you go.
What? I'm sorry, what?
Holy shit.
I think luckily she is taken by such surprise that there isn't time for her to scream.
Yep.
She's just trying to breathe in at the shock.
What the fuck?
You are falling, and we see Aidan flying up, like in the opposite direction.
Cool, that's helpful.
But you see the light turns on in the room that you were just about to break into.
Oh shit.
Oh, bitch.
And as you are falling, there's a flash above in the night sky, and then she appears, catching you just before you hit the ground.
Okay.
And like the momentum kind of like sends you two into the bushes. But she breaks your fall at least.
I think as she was falling, she tried to spread her arms and legs out to like slow herself down as much as possible, anticipating that she would teleport below her and try to catch her.
Yep, you guys roll into some like decorative hedges. Security guard.
Oh, I'm so glad you saw that.
Okay.
Oh, thanks for catching me.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I think she's gonna have to like shake it out a second time. Like, okay.
We got this.
All right.
We are so cool and so professional.
It's fine.
As you get up, you can like check this lower floor window, and it's the same kind of lock. You can just easily open it.
Mm-hmm. I think at this point, the slit in Raven's dress has gone like way higher. She's had to like tear it up higher, and she's got little shorts on underneath.
Yeah.
She assumed something like this would happen.
Right.
But it's very slinky now. She needs movement.
Yeah. You two crawl through the window and make it inside, looking, less and less like you were at a fancy party. Or perhaps more and more like you're at the end of the night versus the middle of the night.
If anyone catches us, we're so drunk. And we were looking for the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Can we see like what type of room this is? Is it like an office? Is it storage?
Yeah, we can say it's like storage. There's just like menus and the rolls that you put in like the ticket reader for kitchens and that sort of thing. It's like more overflow storage for the restaurant portion of the Deep.
I think she'd poke around a little bit, but if it seems all like mundane stuff, they can move on pretty quickly.
You get out into the hallway, and it's just, basic office hallway. There's different rooms with labels and things on them. There's like little bits of signage that says like finances, 8th floor, storage, first 2 levels, etc. But there is sort of like dimmed lighting. So you gather that like most of this building is not in use tonight.
Could I pull a tarot card?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got 2 in mind based on how well I roll. I want a little magical boost.
Sure.
See how this goes. That's double 6s.
Hey!
Hell yeah!
Okay. That's why I wanted to do it while we were still in this little storage room in case it went really bad so there's no one around.
Yeah, I love that. All right, magical girl sequence. What does Raven summon? What does it give you?
I think opposite the leg that she had the knife holster on, she's got another little holster with like a couple of tarot cards. And one of them is the bat spirit. And I'd like to try and utilize some of the like echolocation to get ourselves around this dark building.
Okay, yeah.
So they don't have to turn all the lights on as they go.
Yeah.
Can I have cool goggles?
Sure. I think it's like a whole cyber helmet that forms out of your silver magic. This like high-tech combination of headphones shaped like big bat ears, and your eyes cloud over and start to glow silver behind a shaded face shield mouthguard thing.
Ooh.
And I think your vision starts to resemble the blueprints again, where you're able to see through the walls and floors of this building a little bit, as well as making out shapes and movement in pitch dark. Aiden's looking around the corner. She turns back in. She's like, all right, it looks like the coast is clear. And the sound of her voice bounces all around this room and like lights it up for you. You hear the little bat spirit, and they say, thanks for calling me while I was awake.
Broken clock is right twice a day. Sorry for all the other times. You're the best, Kay. Thank you.
All right, you two run down the hallway with your echolocation active.
I think the first time Aidan speaks, Raven kind of gives her a hand motion of like, shh, gestures to her face of like, echolocation's going. Everything is loud.
I got you. Okay, I'll whisper.
Thank you. And then she will, I think it is her like clicking and listening and kind of tilting her head and like looking around and listening and trying to map out the area and like try and figure out what's in other rooms as they're passing by to see like, can we just skip it? Is it more storage?
Ooh, yeah. I like the idea that the mouthguard of this bat mask you've got can magically muffle the little clicks. So you can make the noise, but it pitches it up so high that it'll be inaudible to anyone else.
Ooh, yeah.
Cool. I think you're investigating a mystery.
Okay. Ooh, that's an 11.
Great. Ask your questions then as you and Aidan start to slink around this building looking for the contracts.
I guess the obvious one is what is being concealed here. And also, where did it go? We're looking for something very specific. Those feel like the two most helpful questions.
Yeah. The gears in my brain are turning.
We could see it.
I think with your echolocation, you can now get a picture of the building. The waves travel through and bounce back. And so you're very easily able to avoid the security and any other staff or workers who are like in this building because they just show up and ping your sound-based search. With that, however long it takes you, you're able to make your way into these managerial offices on the top floors. I think you start to go through some of the, the different official documents and like records. They've got employee pay stubs, they've got tax papers for filing, that sort of thing. You find that like a lot of the operation of the casino itself and like the Deep as a nightclub is pretty legit. Like you don't see a lot of book cooking, and the finances all are being filed through the official channels, that sort of thing.
They're clearly doing their taxes accurately every year.
Right.
Okay.
So you don't find any like records here in this building of like the illegal spell trade that King Octopus is involved with, or like any other logging of illegal funding and like wealth acquisition.
That makes sense to me. That like run some of the business legit, have all of that in like an easily identifiable place. In case they were ever to get like raided or something.
Right.
Here's all of our employee records and our taxes and stuff. See, we're fine.
And so I think in your search, I'm going to give the narration to you. Describe to me what you and Aidan find when you find the magical side of things where the contracts would be kept.
Ooh. I keep picturing that specifically the magical contracts are in like a separate place. Like you wouldn't keep your magic contracts with like your employee records. And so I think it's a matter of like a cabinet with a false back or like some kind of like the magical contracts are hidden somewhere. And I wonder if they're like flipping through all these files, they're just finding all the legit stuff. And then Raven snapping a couple more times and like tilting her head and listening, and then finds like the secret button that unlatches the thing to she finds a secret compartment with her echolocation.
Yeah, because it would ping back hollow.
Yeah. Exactly.
Girl.
Maybe it's a whole door into another room, and she finds the part of the wall that isn't a regular wall.
Yeah. So you just walk into a whole extra room, which you realize is central to the building, even though all the offices ring a sort of perimeter of the structure. So this would be in the central column where an elevator should be. And maybe they don't have one, or maybe the elevator is not operated mechanically, right? It could be an enchanted lift that wouldn't need a counterbalance, and this room sort of acts in the space that a counterbalance would be, or something like that.
Ooh. So it can change floors?
And where it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So yeah, you two have to sort of catch it as it's constantly changing itself, and hop in to this moving vault of magical contracts and prizes and things like that. Once you're inside, there's a section of this space where there are a folder of papers in one of those very fancy file folders that has a little latch to it and stuff. But also then there's a little set chest of drawers underneath where this has been set down. And if you open the drawers, you pull it out and you see several folded up coats.
Oh, several?
There's a lot of Selkies working at the Deep.
Oh, shit.
You see some that look like thin running jackets, some that look like hoodies, another one looks sort of like a pullover sweater, but they all have this very distinctive gray and spotted patterning to them. And they all have tags, just sort of clipped into them that have a name identifying whose coat they are. And you find one, R. Beckett, and her contract, which states working in service to the Deep, blah, 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 for X number of years. Compensation, this amount, regular raises, blah, blah, blah. Some of it is oddly fine in terms of a work contract, but it is there's the thing at the bottom that says coat will be surrendered upon employment and returned after termination, blah, 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 blah.
Can she quickly read all the tags on the coats? I think she just wants to get an idea of who these people are in case she comes across them and can hopefully help them.
Yes, but I'm not going to populate a list of 14 Selkies.
That's okay. But Raven wants to read them so that she has those names in mind.
You know what? I'm going to invent a little bit of Storyteller Squad lore, right? I think some of these coats don't even resemble seal coats. Some of them are just sort of a thin gossamer. They almost look like sea foam that has dried into a sheer crinoline or chiffon. Just that type of material, very thin, very light. And you see other names attached to those. These might belong to mermaids and sirens, who also work here.
Oh.
Some have a little scale pattern as you shake it, and it's only visible when you have a little bit of light on it or something.
Interesting.
Hey, do you want to steal all these coats?
I want to steal all of them so bad.
Just, Damien on your shoulder saying, you should steal all of the coats.
In classic Damien fashion.
I want to take every single one of these coats.
We see the two of you sort of hunched over this. Fine, you've made it. You've got the object of the mission right in front of you. And we see near the door of this room, the light starts to disrupt a little bit, and a mist starts to slink under the door, and it's not green.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, fuck.
Damien, you are a green ghost. What have you been up to?
I feel like Damien was looking for the same things they were. I kind of imagined him going over to that same building and sort of, phasing through and exploring it in sort of the similar way.
Mm-hmm. It's free choice. You tell me what you want Damien to have out of being a ghost.
Once Damien phases into the ethereal plane, I imagine sound doesn't work the same. So he's being as loud as he wants as he's floating around, and there's no sound going anywhere. So he's just singing songs to himself as he floats around and having a pretty good old time. And then having moments where it's okay, I actually need to not have too much fun. I am on a mission. So going through, seeing Aidan and Raven, sort of keeping an eye on them, floating around.
Why don't you also roll investigate a mystery, and we'll use your roll to determine like what things you could find in addition.
So investigate a mystery. 6 and 4 is 10.
2 questions.
When we get to the room of coats, I imagine what sort of creature is it would be fun just for being able to identify, okay, Selkie is one of the more standard fantasy things that exist, but would he recognize some of the other coats?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just going to go with what happened here. Just because even like the general, hey, what does the day-to-day, what's normal happenings here is still useful, even before you get undercover anything.
Mm-hmm. You look around this room, and yes, there's this file folder of the contracts, there's the coats, but there's also just like other precious artifacts and trophies of various sorts in here. This is King O's vault, right? It's his place where he stores a lot of his most precious stuff, or at least things that he doesn't want people getting to easily, hence the very elaborate design of it. And I think you see on a pedestal the amber heartstone that you retrieved in Yellowstone and that Val took.
Oh, that's so cool.
And you see a tooth from some massive creature on like a little gold stand. You see a small diorama of some kind of city that looks very strange to you. It's just odd.
Like the architects of the buildings aren't your normal human architects, or like they're going in a weird direction.
Yes. You look at the way this city is laid out and you realize that the buildings are not set up in a way where they would be able to support themselves just because of like how gravity works. But you realize there's a line on the glass that like goes up to the ceiling of the room. It's sort of in this case, and you see little markers on the glass marking depth measurements and indicating how far into the ocean whatever this diorama is depicting might sit at. Now, to answer your what kind of creature is it, as you're looking at this and sort of puzzling over like, oh, that's a weird thing, you pick up on like a chill. And that's odd because you're a ghost. You've never like felt really any sensations in this form before, but your whole sense of self gets cold, like the air was sort of sucked out in a vacuum. And you look around and you see, creeping under the door, is that dark black smoke. You recognize that dark smoke. That's the Dullahan Lena.
Yes. His next thought is he's got to get back and wake up as quickly as possible to radio to them.
Okay. You start heading back to your body. A little green shot.
Ooh, sounds like dress-up time is over and the pelt heist has officially begun. Don't change that channel, babes. You've made it to the mid-reel. Thanks for listening to episode 70, adventurers. This time, we're getting you acquainted with the folks over at Snyder's Return. Let's listen to their trailer.
Snyder's Return is a tabletop role-playing game interviews and actual play podcast. We interview content creators, Twitch streamers, and fellow podcasters, and we put out our own actual play using a variety of different systems. So come and join us, come and have a listen. You can find us on Twitter at Return Snyder. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, or check out our website at www.snydersreturn.squarespace.com.
Give them a follow or check out their YouTube channel. They've got a little something for everyone in the tabletop gaming space. If you haven't joined our Discord, you're missing out. It's a lovely space for fellow cryptids, I mean cryptid enthusiasts. If you're already in the Discord and you've heard this message, let me know in the episode discussion whether you're a poker movie fan or a heist movie fan. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/thestorytellersquad to help fund our hosting and editing costs, merch development, and convention trips. This season, we're also doing some post-arc discussions as bonus content titled Good Morning Autumn Falls. Keep an eye out for that. Also keep an eye out for a couple of us at Gen Con this year. And be ready for our West Coast booth debut at PAX West. We're going to have some great new merch to show off, along with all of our existing pins and prints and stickers. And hey, if you can't make it out to any conventions, or you can't afford to give us money, you can still support this gay-ass show this Pride Month by simply leaving a review, or sharing our stories with your friends. We read every comment, and they mean the world to us. Thanks, adventurers. Happy Pride. Now, let's get back to the show.
Whittaker, you can follow King O to one of the poker tables where a game is being set up.
Yeah, let's do that.
And just so that like everyone's timelines are correct, right? Like Hugo and Anya took some time out on the balcony. This has taken Aidan and Raven a little bit to search this building. Same with Damien. So Whittaker, we're picking up with you for this game. And it's only been like 10 minutes since you all like broke apart, right? You had your little interaction at the bar with Morgan and Jonathan. And now you're gonna play a game. So you sit down at the table as things are being prepared.
Sure. If we want to do this efficiently, I can sit right down. I do kind of want to honor the thing you said, the like jab he made about agency salaries not covering the buy-in.
Mm-hmm.
If that's true, could I get Meridian to stake me?
Ooh.
Interesting.
Oh no, she's doing the DM hand. She's doing the DM hand.
Yeah, go for it.
I also want to honor the idea of Whittaker is not gambling, he's playing. He wants to have allies at that table with him.
Yeah, I think the table that King O goes over to like interrupt and be like, let's clear this away, crash everyone out, we're gonna start a new game. And you see Meridian sitting there with a rather large pot. He's about to like win a hand.
Just like interrupts his game?
Yep.
Oh my god.
And I think Meridian, his bodyguards go to protest, but he just puts his cards down, holds a hand up, and he says, a new game, Jonathan. What's the buy-in? And King O says,
Nothing fancy about the game, Meridian. Just starting from scratch. Got some new interested parties who want to play.
Meridian like looks past King O to where you might be standing, Whittaker, sort of squints, and he says, well, I have nowhere to take my chips for now. And he will take just a couple off the stack and sort of like toss them to King O. I'm in for whoever you're playing with. And King O says,
Excellent. Let me go get my stash and let everyone else get seated.
And he will sort of move away into the crowd as, again, the like dealer starts collecting cards, shuffling things together. And Meridian just sort of sits there at the end of this table, very intently watching King O, but then sort of his eyes shoot back to you immediately, Whittaker.
Whittaker will come up alongside him, not getting too close, I suppose, with the bodyguards there. Or maybe getting too close with the bodyguards there.
Roll read a bad situation.
Sure, yeah. It's a 9. One singular question. As much as I love, are there any dangers we haven't noticed? For the purposes of this, I'm tempted to say best way in, unless people think dangers we haven't noticed would be good.
I really like what's my best way in, because that's your mission right now, is get into this game.
Mm-hmm.
Does Whittaker know how much of a rival Meridian considers himself to like King O?
I was vaguely aware that the two had rival businesses. Damien confirmed that Meridian does not like King O at all, so that is enough for Whittaker to say, this could be a potential ally, at least for this.
Natalie, would Val know anything additional about Meridian as an additional way to get on his good side to offer Whittaker?
Val's base knowledge of Meridian, think about your history. You've probably worked for him.
Yeah.
So like, as someone who's like done contract work for him, he is just as shrewd and ruthless and dangerous as King O. There's a reason the two of them are rivals. It's because they are cut from the same cloth. He probably would know you if you like gave the little wink of like, hey, it's me.
Okay. Whittaker's eyeing Meridian. Meridian's eyeing Whittaker. She kind of sidles up to Whittaker and just asks quietly, you gonna ask him to buy you in?
Considering it strongly. Have you worked with him?
Technically, yes. Let me handle this. And she's gonna walk over to Meridian.
Ooh.
Oh, girl.
Okay.
All right.
Uh-huh.
And she's going to approach him and put a little smile on her face. She'll walk up slowly so as to like show her face, let Meridian see that it's her, right?
Mm-hmm. How close do you get?
Decently close.
Okay. I will tell you this, Val. Because you are who you are, and because Meridian has worked with you, he recognizes you as you approach. He gives a little signal to his security that, like, you're not a problem. But one of them puts a hand to an earpiece, and as you are, like, approaching, before you have time to say anything, you do catch a little end of a thing this person leans down and whispers to Meridian. And they say,
"We've got confirmation of arrival, sir."
Confirmation of arrival? What the fuck does that mean?
Oh, this is fascinating.
You've closed the distance, and Meridian says to you,
Well. Forgive me, my memory is not what it used to be. Remind me your name, dear.
If there's an empty seat next to him, she'll sit down.
Table was just cleared, so.
She'll sit down, she puts her little handbag in her lap, leans forward a little bit. It's Valentine.
He smiles, takes a little puff of his cigar, and he says,
No false identities tonight. Very bold, Ariel.
I'm amongst good company. There's no point.
How have you been? I heard there was a bit of trouble recently.
I've seen better days, but I'm making out all right. Thought I might join in on the game. Though, and she turns and looks over her shoulder pointedly at Whittaker. I think it would be pretty interesting if you let a certain guest join in on the game. Don't think he has funding, though. Don't suppose you'd be interested in sponsoring?
You never struck me as someone who dealt in charity cases, but we are quite literally set to play against the house. Another ally at the table is not the worst idea in this case.
My new friend would be very interested.
Tell him he's in. And if we knock Jonathan and your friend out of the game early enough in the evening, perhaps you can win some money from me, Miss Valentine.
One moment. And she'll get up and she'll go over to Whittaker. He'll buy you in. All you gotta do is help us take O down a few pegs.
What's in this for you?
Money, obviously. I intend to win the whole thing.
Do you have enough for the buy-in?
She opens her clutch with the stolen chips inside.
If you can make his night even half as annoying as you've made mine, then maybe once again, we can act as though we've never seen each other.
Works for me.
You sit down at the table, the three of you, and Jonathan King buy into this game. I don't think there is a reason to include other players. I think just the three of you versus King O is going to be challenging. How do we want to resolve this? Do you have a strategy in this card game, Whittaker or Valentine, in order to win?
I mean, the classic thing is, I want to know what his tell is.
Yeah.
What's his play style? Is he an aggressive bettor? Does he go all in all the time?
Val is definitely watching King O and Meridian very intently for how they play, what their tells might be. She intends to clean this out if she can.
Okay. We're going to do just some dice rolling for a minute here. And I will also roll for Meridian and King O. And do not tell me your totals.
Oh.
Because we will be bluffing.
That's right.
Ooh, okay.
That's how we used to do it in one of the D&D games I used to play. You'd do rollies, but then you'd just lie about the number you have.
Mm-hmm. So let's do a couple hands of dice poker. You're at the table. Cards have been dealt. King O says, as he's looking at the first card that's laid out face up on the table.
So, Meridian, when are you gonna get yourself a place like this?
Gesturing around at the nightclub. And Meridian says,
I would think you'd know by now, Jonathan. I've never been as flashy as you like to be.
and he will call the bet without raising. Kingo chuckles and he says,
Well, I find parties like these can be useful for gauging the waters around me. Lots of friends come round, of course, but also you tend to see a lot of folks you might not call friends exactly.
And he glances at you, Whittaker.
Well, you know what they say about keeping enemies close. Whittaker raises.
I'm beginning to wonder if you've got a different definition of keeping close, Whittaker.
And he will, with one finger, rub at his bottom lip. He's referencing that you just kissed him.
Oh, is that canon now?
Yes!
What?
I thought that was a joke.
You had Whittaker kiss a servant of the Demon Lord of Lust. That's in.
Wow!
Nice.
I will say that Kingo raises. He matches yours and then raises again.
Gotcha.
I think this is where Val chimes in, actually. She folds for this round. She says, "You'd be surprised how easy it is to quickly make friends, as well as lose them and turn them into enemies."
Kingo grins and says,
I wouldn't say I find that surprising at all. Not in this line of work.
do you want to reveal the numbers here and say? Because Meridian folds on this hand as well.
Meridian folds on this hand. Yeah, Whittaker will match his bet. I want to see his cards.
Okay. Because I've got NPCs and you have a character sheet, let's just do straight numbers.
That makes sense because it's, it's luck-based.
Right, it's random, it's luck-based, yeah.
Okay.
Cards are flipped. He rolled a 7.
Whittaker rolled a 12.
You take the first hand. As the chips are moving away, Kingo just kind of shrugs it off. It's nothing to him. And he says, as the next hand is being dealt to you, Valentine,
I heard you might be on hard times, Miss Valentine. Is there more at stake in this game than a few chips at the table?
This is purely entertainment. I'm here to have fun tonight.
Ha ha, as you should be.
You throw a great party.
he has a shot brought by, downs it, puts the glass down hard on the tray. The server has to steady themselves as they walk away. And he says,
With my dying breath, I'll have it known that Jonathan King was fun.
let's roll the next hand.
Let's do it.
To sort of move time in the game along a little bit, I'm going to say this next result will sort of indicate the next few hands of the game and how that's going.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we'll just go around really quickly and just say bet, raise, call, blah, 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 until we wheel out who's done. Meridian will start. He places a very modest first bet. Kingo raises. Then it would be Whittaker's bet.
Whittaker will raise.
And Val, do you raise again?
Yeah.
Everyone has raised in this go through. Meridian folds again. And Kingo will raise again.
Fucker. I gotta play the character. Whittaker raises again.
Okay.
Val will call.
All right. I think Kingo will let it ride.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know what that means.
It means he's not adding to the next round as the cards go over.
Gotcha.
He matches Whittaker's, but he doesn't raise.
Okay.
So yours is the highest right now, Whittaker.
Okay.
But he's matched it.
Shit. Emery's not good at bluffing. God, there's no insight check in fucking Monster of the Week, and this kills me so bad.
Nope.
There really isn't.
Nope. We're just role playing right now.
I know, and I'm bad at it. I am not a cool secret agent. I'm just a guy.
Just a little artist guy.
Just a little guy with dice.
I'm a 5'4" twink with a bad British accent. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm playing the character. I'm gonna raise.
Okay. Whittaker raises again. You still in, Val?
She'll call again.
Okay. Kingo raises.
God.
I see you hyperventilating.
I know. My waves can see me hyperventilating too.
Ooh, that'll be good Foley.
No, it's not. Whittaker looks so chill right now.
Yeah,
he
true,
looks so
true.
confident in his bet. It's crazy. It's crazy how confident he looks.
Mm-hmm.
I'll match his bet, if only to see what his cards are. I'm gathering data. I gotta know if he's lying.
You match it. Val, you're out.
No, she'll match it. She's very much like studying between the two of them, just like looking at their expressions when it's like their turn to make
what they're doing.
Yeah, for the bet. Like if they're, she's paying attention.
You'll notice that even though Meridian's out, he's also watching just as intently. And every once in a while, he'll shoot a look over to you, Val, with like just the like most bemused grin on his face.
Motherfucker, what do you mean by that? Ugh. That's at Meridian, not at you.
All right.
This is fine. At most, I make enemies with Meridian, who's also a criminal. We were going to be enemies at some point anyway.
Awful problem to have, really.
Final cards hit the table. What are your numbers?
5.
9.
7.
Yeah. That's okay. The money goes to Val. As long as King's bleeding, I'm fine.
Money goes to Val. And in fact, because I had said before we did that little exchange, that's how the game's going. And what I mean by that is, Whittaker, you're...
unlucky.
No.
Oh.
Well, I mean, yes, but like your hands aren't winning. But I will say, like, I'm gonna psychoanalyze you a little bit.
Please. I love being psychoanalyzed.
King O, he can bet whatever he fucking wants. This game means nothing to him. He's just here to make you squirm. You are trying to play and get him to make tells, so you're playing kind of aggressively, right?
Yes.
Intentionally so, but you are. Now, Meridian, he's happy to fold. He's happy to like let the two of you spar at this game of cards and bleed a little bit of his chips to watch you two try and take each other out in one big fell swoop. Meridian's playing so safe, so almost overly cautious because he knows he doesn't have to beat the both of you. He can let one of you knock the other out and just pick up whatever's left. And Valentine is also aware of this dynamic and is capitalizing on it like a motherfucker.
Give me that money!
So a few rounds pass, and Whittaker, you're not looking so great.
Yeah.
Neither is King O, but he's not fazed by it because if he runs out of chips, he's just, all right, whatever. Or he'll buy more. He can just buy more from the casino.
This is literally his place.
Technically, not really kosher for you to be gambling in your own casino, but
it's King O.
It's King O.
Yeah. I love, by the way, that the only difference between Val and Meridian is that Val actually needs the money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good.
Yep. So I think you all could maybe be aware of that being the dynamic of this game. Like, none of you are stupid. And so I think we will come to another hand. And I will also say, Meridian is not doing bad or poorly. Like he'll win a hand when he's got like really good cards and he'll like actually bet on it, but he's only betting on like the best hands possible. Like he's not bothering to bluff at all, right? If he sees he's got like a shit chance, he'll fold immediately.
I love that for him.
Yeah, he's like not playing that game right now. Both of you roll straight sharp. This is separate from the game. Let me know if you get above a 10.
I got a 10.
A 10?
I got a 6.
Ooh.
Do I mark experience for that?
Not for this. This is just like a little nugget of something. Whittaker, you can ask me a question about King O and their tell that you will have picked up by playing with him in this way.
Sure. All right.
Val, you're a little too focused on the money. You don't...
I'm watching too many faces.
Yeah.
Not picking up all the little subtleties.
Can I save this for a thing during the next hand?
Sure.
Because I don't think I'd get a good answer on a game that doesn't matter to him. So I'm going to wait till we're betting something that matters.
So let's roll another hand. Okay. It's Whittaker's turn to start. Is it more than the ante or like just the ante?
I think it's just a standard. I think at this point he knows to not give away too much in the beginning.
Okay.
Val will raise it just for the hell of it.
Okay. King O will call. He'll match. Meridian will also call and match.
Gentlemen, Val, having a lot of fun playing, but I can't really seem to escape my notice that we're not really playing for anything particularly interesting at this point. Does anyone want to put something a little more valuable on the table?
What do you have in mind?
What does Whittaker have in mind?
What do you have in mind? What do you have in mind, Whittaker?
Oh God, I need an idea. I want this to be cooler.
Oh, I have an idea.
Can I get an idea a day?
You want to bet in some deals?
Mm-hmm.
In favors and some contracts, if you will?
Favors.
Sure. I think Whittaker will make the now universal symbol of we're putting the agency on hold by taking his earpiece off. How about a favor?
Meridian smiles and looks to King O, and he says,
I love when games get more interesting, and I have favors to spare.
King O is like, at this point in the game, messily eating something.
Gross.
Ew.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Hate it.
I know. He's the worst.
Ugh.
Glad he waited till after I kissed him.
Yeah.
But he sort of like dabs at his mouth with a napkin. Whatever he's eating is horribly messy. They have to like swap the cards out for each hand. It's like that much like excess because they can't shuffle them once there's like barbecue sauce or whatever. Like,
Gross.
Ew.
Oh my god.
yeah, he's like eating ribs or something stupid like that. Like he would never do this, but it's his fucking casino, so he can do what he wants.
I
Yeah.
hate him so much.
Actually, oh no. He's eating a whole bird of some sort.
I just put in chat, man's eating wings.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah, a bird of some sort. Okay, Natalie.
a platter of wings.
It's safe to say that it's fast food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or it was.
Fuck this man.
But he dabs at his mouth with the napkin and he says,
I don't know you could offer me a favor that I'd find attractive enough.
Why? Someone from the agency already offered.
he says,
If we're getting that serious, perhaps there are things you could promise to me.
he looks to you, Valentine. He says,
Now, I'd not want to be rude, Miss Valentine, but given rumors circulating about, do you think you can make the ante if we change the terms of this hand?
Oh, I have to think about that one. Fuck. He's calling her a lying ass hoe.
no, he's suspecting her of being a petty thief and not being able to play at the table with the big boys.
We love some good old misogyny. I tease.
It's also fine to fold.
Yeah, I think, she's here for money. She doesn't want to owe anyone anything right now.
You just got out of a bad contract.
Just got out of a very bad contract.
Based on how the cards have been so far, you've probably made a fair bit of money off this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think she will, in fact, fold and just sit back and watch.
Are you cashing out? Or do you want to keep playing in case the game continues and Meridian wants to play longer?
I think for this first round, I think she'll continue playing.
Okay. You fold on this round. That's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
So it is, I think, your bet, Whittaker, to raise with a favor that you're going to offer.
An agency favor. I look the other way on something or other. Lose a file or two.
Meridian says,
You evict yourself from my harbor.
Ooh.
Is he looking at King when he says this?
he's looking at King O.
Nice. Okay, yep.
And then he looks to you, Whittaker, and he says,
I'll take the same as what you've offered him.
King O says,
Bet. The hand should go to me, dear Meridian. You give over half the harbor to my people.
Are we making offers or making demands here?
demands.
Okay.
Meaning, like, if King O wins the round, Meridian has to give up half his control of the Portland Harbor.
Okay.
And he looks over to you, Whittaker, and he says,
I'm coming up at a loss at what I could offer ye that you might find so enticing as to compromise your virtue as an agent. What are you seeking from me treasure hold, Agent Whittaker?
For the moment, let's keep things modest. Tell me what a slimy little eel like you is doing with such a well-renowned fish hunter out in that bay of yours.
You see, when you say that, Whittaker, Meridian's eyes
Royal.
and King O sort of like puts a hand up. He says,
We'll get to ownership of the bay once the hand concludes. But if you'd like to know why I've taken an interest in Mr. Pike's expeditions, I can answer that, should you win.
Comes around to Meridian. He says, Raise,
Oh, bitch.
Mr. Whittaker,
Oh, bitch.
your team will ignore my people's movings in the city.
For how long?
His eyes shoot to King O. You gather, maybe unintentionally, he lets that slip. And he says, a year. Looks to King O. You move your operation to Seattle. King O looks to Meridian, looks to you, Whittaker, and he says,
Well, I mean, I've just redone the place. Pot's a bit too rich for me.
and he folds. That comes to you, Whittaker.
What you gonna do, Whittaker? What you gonna do?
This is so spicy.
Spicy Christ.
Oh. Just to set the stakes, if Whittaker were to fold...
Yes, to set the stakes, King O bet already that he would get out of the harbor.
Yes.
But he is not accepting the promise of get out of this city.
Okay.
By the terms of this agreement, he will have to get out of the harbor and stop fucking with Meridian's stuff.
Okay.
Meridian has won. So that's his agreement with King O in this promise game that you're all playing right now. So that's on the table. King O has now, he has agreed in this game of deals to not mess with Meridian's smuggling and shipping in the harbor anymore. And he technically lost the hand. So if you were to win, he would owe you an answer as to what he's been doing with Aaron Pike.
Okay.
But you can't now ask him for something more.
Right, yeah.
And Meridian has said not just a favor, but immunity from Rogue Team for a year. If you fold, you only owe him the favor, which has been placed.
With the stakes set in place, I think Whittaker gives Meridian a respectful and appraising nod and says, I only came here to see the octopus bleed. I fold.
Hot damn.
Okay. The chips on the table, there's sort of like the table shakes a little bit, and that deal binds the three of you.
He's out of the harbor.
Yeah.
Bitch.
That cost him a lot.
Yeah, it did.
Now, I will also say, King O takes another wing, starts chewing on it, and he says,
Look at the time. I'm afraid, gentlemen and lady, we'll have to call it here. I've got a meeting in a few minutes.
And he stands, tosses the bones, and he says,
Feel free to continue playing, those of you who are allowed to.
And Whittaker, you feel a hand on your shoulder, a large, stony one.
Oh.
And Mason Wright leans down onto the table, and he says,
Can I have a word with you outside, Mr. Whittaker?
I thought you'd never ask.
You see he goes and reaches past you to the table and pinches between two big stony gargoyle fingers your earpiece.
Listening devices might be constituted as cheating. I believe I gave you one more strike. Come with me.
At least let me buy you a drink first.
He moves you roughly away from the table.
Let's fucking go.
Whittaker's led away. Meridian looks to you, Val.
Uh-huh. Yeah?
And he just says, Well played, Miss Valentine. I think I have reclaimed some of my losses for the night. And they always say you should quit while you're ahead. How are you feeling about your evening's earnings?
Natalie?
Mm-hmm.
Based on the chips that she has right now, how much money did she make?
The game's pots were set at 500,000. You have played maybe a third of a game? Half a game? Tops? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Whittaker's not wasting time,
Nope.
but, a few hands. You won a significant amount past the first two that we did, I think.
Yeah.
Or rather, the first and last. So somewhere between 100 and 200,000.
She's feeling pretty happy right now. Internally, she's like, fuck yeah. Externally, cool as a cucumber.
Mm-hmm.
To answer Meridian's question, she simply goes, Well, I've been sufficiently entertained. This was fun. We'll have to do it again sometime.
He will pull a card from his breast pocket, slide it across the table to you, and he says,
Look me up if you are looking for gainful employment.
I'll take it into consideration. Have a good night, Marcus. And she'll get up.
Mel!
Thank you, Mel.
Oh, spicy on all sides.
So good, holy shit. Okay.
I've been waiting to drop his name all night.
Natalie, one last quick thing. When King O folds on that last hand, when the bets get too rich, what's the tell?
Oh, yeah.
I think you saw when the deals took hold and it was like magically binding that he would have to not meddle with, the harbor operations. The top of his hand, which was like resting on the table near the plate, something beneath the skin wriggled and coiled as though he were like tensing.
Haunting. I like it.
Yeah. We're going to check back in with, I'm sorry about the uneven spotlight, but we're going to check back in with Raven and Aidan again, because that will catch us up to the present in terms of everyone's timelines. Raven, you and Aidan have got River's coat and her contract, and it is that thing of like time kind of slows down as you look up, you see Aidan, she's smiling, and then suddenly a black shape impacts with the side of her neck, and she is slammed into the wall of this vault, enough so that like the table that all this stuff is on, her body just cracks it, crumples to the ground, and then time speeds up again, and we see a long extended arm creating sort of like a half moon bladed shape, just pressing into Aidan and pressing her against the wall as it extends back and into the doorway where Lena, the Doulahan, is standing there in her like all black leather attire with the motorcycle helmet over her face.
She's immediately in like a defensive position.
Do you do anything to remove the weapon from your girlfriend's throat?
It's a weapon. I was picturing it as still her like smoky form.
It's both.
Okay.
Like her arm has turned into this crescent moon shaped blade and just shot out at the wrist.
Okay.
Her body can become whatever she wants, so her hand has become the weapon and stretched across the room to like slam into Aidan.
Got it. And it's like corporeal, like I feel like I could try to do something to it. It's not just smoke.
It's holding Aidan in place, so.
Okay. Yeah, I think time kind of has slowed down a little bit as she takes all of this in. And then once she clocks that Aidan wasn't just like pushed back, she's like being held and is still being hurt by this, I think she's going to go to attack this arm in front of her to try and release Aidan.
Sure.
Should I roll kick some ass?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's a 4.
Okay. You go to react and like do something to like knock this arm away, and you feel the wind get knocked out of you. You just feel like a sinking feeling in your abdomen as Lena's other hand shoots forward and sweeps you and a bunch of things off the table and just like shoved you against a different wall, and a like scythe blade is just pressing into you. Now, you are not 3 armor tough the way Aidan is. You take 3 harm from this move.
Ouch.
You can reduce 1 because you were kicking ass.
Yes.
Right? Prepared to defend?
Yes. Okay, so I take 2 when I get experience. Well, shit.
Yeah, it's not great.
No.
And Lena's voice comes through the helmet.
Agents snooping where you shouldn't be.
You hear in your head, Raven, more echoes and whispers attached to those words, and they start to like creep in.
You will never leave. The first light will not yours. This time, thief.
Whoa!
If we look at Raven from outside, the edges of your eyes start to be filled in with black.
Oh, so this is not a a side effect of the echolocation? This is something that Lena is doing to me?
Her attack on you is causing this to happen.
Horrifying.
There is a blinding flash throughout the whole room, and Aidan, her wings manifest and force her away from the wall, where she knocks Lena's arm aside and then kicks off the wall and shoots over to you as Lena's hand then redirects and tries to strike at her again. Her wing comes in front, and she immediately has her hands around your midsection. And within this little like cocoon of her wings that she creates, the weapon arm of Lena's, the scythe blade, just sort of evaporates. The tendril pulls away, you hear her shriek. And Aidan is gonna roll lay on hands, first of all. That is plus her cool, which is a 3. So she gets a 10. You heal 2 harm.
Oh, good.
Still feels like you got slammed into a wall, but you're not like bleeding from the scythe attack anymore.
Great.
And Aidan just stands as soon as your wound closes. Again, full force of her bright, shining wings flashes at Lena, who drops to a knee. As the whole room is illuminated now, Aidan says, "Yield."
Whoa.
Hot.
The Doulahan. The shadows on her side of the room start to stretch and fight back. It's almost like her dark smoke is getting into a shoving match with Aidan's light as the two fight back and forth within this small, tiny office. She says, as the two of them are sort of locked in this stare down,
"You are trespassing. First light.
I invoke the invitation of the night."
The what?
What does that mean?
He will not speak to you.
He will speak to the first light when asked.
Bitch!
Okay.
Hello?
Raven's so out of her league right now. She has no idea what's going on.
I will say you have to cover your ears as the two of them. The echolocation, like you probably should dismiss it because it's like starting to make your ears like ring and be really painful.
Oh yeah, I think as soon as Aidan went full like brightness, I think she had to dismiss the echolocation. It was way too much.
Mm-hmm. The fighting of their two opposing elements, the light and the shadow, recede back to the two of them. The shadows and become smoke and are inhaled through the mouthpiece of the helmet. And Lena stands there, and Aidan's wings fold down. They're less glowing now, but they are still protectively in front of you. And Lena says,
"I will arrange a meeting. Follow me."
And Aidan looks to you, and she says, "Take the contract and the coat."
Okay.
And Lena opens the door, and the two of you walk with her, and you go through this building, just sort of following along. And then you take a long corridor, which seems to be heading back in the direction of the deep.
Oh no.
And you come through another door, and you are back at the party. Hum of the crowd, all this stuff. And Lena is just marching the two of you forward. And Aidan, very serious face, is just watching the back of Lena like she could turn around, snap, and start fighting again any second. But she's got your hand in hers, and the two of you just walk through the party, not, acknowledging anyone else, and you start to go up the spiraling inner staircase that leads to like the top floors of the new levels of the casino.
Oh!
We see you stop as King O is outside of what looks like his office here in the casino, and he is chatting with Marissa and Tomas Ramos. Just casually. Just talking with them.
He said he had a meeting.
But when he sees Lena and you two approaching, he holds up a hand and he says,
Yes, we'll have to arrange a time to meet at a less busy junction.
And he will walk past the two of them, who then turn and see the two of you, and their eyes go wide, like, what the fuck are they doing here?
Raven's looking at them like, what the fuck are you doing here?
He looked at me, and I looked at him.
And Lena walks forward, whispers something to King O, and his face goes from curiously amused to full amused, and he says,
First Light, good to see you. Would you two ladies care to step into my office? We're just about to start.
the answer to your previous what is being concealed here, Raven, is who else is in this meeting.
Oh.
Bruh.
Raven, Aidan has invoked the invitation of the night. When Kingo said, anyone at this party, if you want to talk to me, you can. And in order to stop the two of you from having to fight this very dangerous specter on your own without backup, she has decided to get you talking to the host of the party.
Oh my fucking god.
While holding the things we just stole from him.
Yep.
Cool. Cool. I guess it's better than dying in that small room. Okay.
Lena will watch the two of you enter. You two go into the office. Marissa is like...
Raven glares at her just a little bit as they go by.
Oh, yeah. She like fully mouths to you, what the fuck, Eugenia?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Raven glares at Lena, the one who just almost sliced me open and killed me.
Yeah.
5 minutes ago? Ripped my dress.
I know. Yeah, your dress is like a huge like gash in the center of it. It's getting harder and harder to like pull it off as like intentional.
She's got the contract wrapped up in the coat and then is holding the coat over her arm, trying to like cover up the huge rip in her dress. It's trying to be so inconspicuous. Yeah, she stares daggers at Lena when she walks by and then just kind of gives a confused look at the twins. Like, seriously?
You walk in to Kingo's private chambers. It's a fairly dark interior, I would say, in here. There's like another wall of aquarium water behind like a large desk and like a little seating area with some like orb-like lamps dimly illuminating that space, and several of these more like dark leather chairs with very simple metal frames and armrests and that sort of thing. And you walk into this space, and Kingo walks over to a shelf, a private cabinet where he takes out like a bottle of an ancient-looking bottle of something, which is actually like wrapped in an old fishing net and has like barnacles growing on it and stuff. He pulls the cap out, pours himself a snifter of it, and turns around and he says,
Can I get you to anything before we begin talks?
If Aidan doesn't say anything, Raven will speak up and say, I'll have some of what you're having.
Damn.
All of Aiden's steel resolve and focus shatters when you say that, and she just turns to you. What?
Damn.
She's doing a James Bond.
Raven's gonna look over her like, I just got stabbed. Like she's still got some dried blood on her hands that isn't quite dry yet.
Yep. Yeah, the two of you look a mess. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, she was like not expecting that.
My life flashed before my eyes.
Yeah, Kingo will take a glass for you. They can slide it over. It's pretty awful because it's something from a shipwreck, but...
Oh, I'm sure. She'll take it, kind of do like a little cheers motion at him and take a teensy tiny sip. She's not trying to get drunk.
Yeah, I mean, it tastes like fucking salty gasoline. Like it's terrible.
Tries so hard to be composed about it.
Yeah, he'll tap glasses with you and then sort of gesture over to a seating area. He says,
Now I do have a scheduled meeting, so let's try to get yours done in the next few minutes.
And as he walks over to this area, he says,
Friends, I hope you don't mind. We'll just have a quick chat with the First Light and her partner.
And you see, sitting in one of the chairs, as Kingo comes over and like the lights in this area sort of detect motion and light up a little bit more, is a figure in a dark gray suit with amethyst cufflinks and like a very deep navy tie that has like almost a gold fleck pattern through it. Almost it gives off the impression of like a stone and gold that have been like crushed together to make a texture. And rising up out of the collar of a perfectly white shirt in this dark suit is a flaming skeleton.
Oh.
But the flames are pitch black, almost like if you had taken a photo negative
Oh.
full skull face with like a slight pinprick of white in one socket. And they're just standing there sort of like musing with a crystal in one hand, just sort of playing with it in bony skeletal fingers. Also, sitting in a chair opposite, I wouldn't say lounging, but certainly less prim and proper, just sort of casually sitting, legs crossed, in a not fancy enough outfit. It's like a dark leather jacket, a sort of simple dark sweater, almost like a turtleneck actually, and then some very plain slacks. But the thing about this figure that you note is the visor of lenses that takes up the top half of her face.
Oh no!
Oh shit.
As Ops sits in the room with a briefcase.
Oh no! Fucking shit!
Oh no.
And the skeletal figure says, "As you know, Jonathan, I have all the time in the world."
I fucking knew it! Oh my god.
And Ops just says, "I can be patient."
God damn it.
Raven takes another sip of her drink.
Aidan sits down.
Oh shit.
Kingo sits on the same sofa as Ops and just puts his feet up on the coffee table.
Raven's gonna wait until Aidan picks a seat and then sit next to her.
She just sits opposite Kingo on
Okay.
the couch on the other side of the coffee table.
So, First Light, Lena says you took me up on the invitation. What's it you got to talk to me about?
Oh my god.
She says, "We..."
Raven's so fucking curious what Aidan could possibly say right now.
I think she's like kind of looking at you like, "Help me here."
Girl, you put us in this situation.
I was saving your life.
I'm the only stupid human in this room right now. Everybody else is bigger and stronger than me. I'm so scared. My dress is ripped. I'm bleeding. Like, it is a bad night. I'm scared and I want to go home.
She catches this like, "I'm terrified, what have you gotten us into" vibe. And she just says, "We're here to negotiate on behalf of River Beckett."
Oh my god. Just outright fucking says it.
Yes.
Kingo lets that sit for a second. He sort of swirls his drink around. He says,
Miss Brightwood, if I can call you that, can you be a bit more specific? What's this young Miss Beckett got to do with me?
She looks a little thrown by that answer and she says, "She works for you. She's one of your staff?" And Kingo glances over to you, Raven, and sees you holding the contract and the coat. And he says,
I see. And what are you negotiating for then?
Since I had said on their way in that she was kind of hiding the contract in the coat, I think at this point she'll pull the contract out and just have it on top of the coat so he can see she has both.
Oh.
"Mm-hmm.
As kind of a show of good faith and honesty.
Well, that's a choice.
Yep. Okay."
But also, we know about your secret compartment full of Selkie coats, and maybe that secret compartment was secret for a reason?
She's metaphorically putting her cards on the table here. Now that Aidan has kind of set the tone for the conversation, Raven's ready to jump in, but like, God, how would Raven address him? What would she call him to be polite?
You could say Mr. King, which would be his like human alias.
Mr. King, River Beckett came to us because she was concerned. She has been an employee of yours for a while, and she felt like she needed a way out, and she came to us for that way out. She needed her contract and her coat back, and she needs to leave. We're here to talk to you about that.
I see. Did she say why specifically she wants to look elsewhere for employment? I'm curious if I've not provided an adequate and ample stipend for my staff.
She confided in us that she feared for her safety, hers and her coworkers. And due to that, she felt that it was unsafe to go about the normal means of breaking a contract.
I see.
And Aidan speaks up. She says, "She said her coworkers were going missing." And he frowns and actually stands up and goes and walks over to where there's the glass of the aquarium wall. And he says,
I suppose it was only a matter of time before it started to affect general morale. I've had a handful of the girls who work here gone missing.
she seemed to think they were being given tasks which contributed to their disappearance. He turns around and he says,
What I've asked of my most experienced girls to handle comes with some risk, but they've all come back from the job. Their disappearance got nothing to do with me. But if River Beckett thinks she's safer leaving here for other waters, I've no desire to be a source of anxiety for a young Selkie girl.
And from his chest, a tentacle emerges and reaches out and sort of uncurls itself in front of you, Raven, as though to be like, give me the contract.
She'll hand it over.
He takes it with his human hand as the tentacle retracts back into his chest, and he looks it over and rips it in half.
Oh, shit. Oh, he actually did it.
And he says,
Her severance will be in her bank account in the next few days. Now, if that's all, First Light and guest, it is time for my other meeting.
And Aidan kind of looks at you, shocked, like, that was so easy.
Too easy.
Too easy.
Would Raven know that him ripping it up voided it? Like it is, that's a valid way to do that? Okay, cool.
Yep.
I just want to make sure. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, Raven will kind of give her a similar look back and like a tiny, tiny shrug of like, okay, and then stand up.
He says,
In the future, First Light, if you've business with me, come direct. Save my good girl Lena her time. Shame about the expensive dress.
and she very pointedly puts herself between him and you. And she says, Good evening, Mr. King. And we'll lead you out of the room.
Raven will stop for a second and just say, Thank you for your time, Mr. King, and follow Aidan out.
You two leave King O's office.
Where's the butt? There's something. There's something here. What's the catch?
Damien, you fly back to your body as a ghostly green cloud. And you wake up in the room with Amity.
Aidan and Raven are under attack. We've got to go. And Damien will reach out and grab Amity's hand to hold it and begin racing towards the door.
Oh, yeah. No, Amity is going with him, forgets all about the mess of food that is on the table. They are going.
Mm-hmm.
Natalie, I don't know if we ever talked about this. Would it be completely unreasonable to say that Amity could transform her staff? Could we say that it was like a necklace for safekeeping for the time and now she like summons it to full size, or no?
What about like a hairpin, right? Because you straightened your hair. If it's like all up in a bun with like the staff through it as a hairpin.
Hairpin is perfect. I love that. Yes.
It's very like neat and tidy server hair style.
Yes, yes, yes. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, the staff appears. You two come up the stairs into the casino from like the kitchen zone where you'd been hiding out in that little side room.
Mm-hmm.
As you glance around the room, we could say you run into Hugo, returning inside with Anya.
Amity will like bring Damien to a slow in front of Hugo and just go, Aidan and Raven are in trouble. We gotta go.
Wait, what?
Raven and Aidan found Kingo's vault, but that ghost biker lady is about to find them. We gotta back them up.
They're in trouble. We gotta go. Come on.
Great. Okay. Get going. I'll catch up.
Aren't you faster?
I'm faster, but I don't know where I'm going. Get a head start. I'll catch up.
Okay.
Hugo is going to turn to Anya. I'm really sorry about this. Hold on. He's going to look around, try to spot Corey and Rian. Bring her over to them.
Yeah. Rian sees you coming and he's like kind of a little bit buzzed. He's like, hey man, you made it. I could just see you. Look at you all dressed up.
Oh my god.
You! Oh, Miss, Your Highness. God, what a pleasure. Rian Hillcrest. Gosh, you're pretty. This guy is such a lucky son of a bitch.
Dude, I need you to compose yourself for a little bit, okay?
What? It's a party. What are you talking about?
And he's gonna turn, and if Corey's there, he's gonna turn to Corey instead.
Corey's just sitting there bemusedly sipping something. How's it going, student of mine?
It's been better. Can you do me a favor?
I suppose. What's the favor?
Can you guys keep Anya company for a little while? I have to go and deal with some stuff.
Oh.
And I'd rather she not have to be here by herself.
Coraline, for a quick moment, looks at Anya and she says, Your Highness, I'm about ready to ditch this place. I've had my fill and the well's starting to run dry, if you know what I mean. And for a quick moment, she taps the small clutch she's carrying and the illusion on it shimmers. And we see what she's actually holding in her monstrous cryptid hand is a much larger duffel bag, which looks like it's full of cash and other valuables.
Queen!
You want to come hang at my place until Hugo can come pick you up? And Anya is just like, I think I would like to leave. Sure. And Rian looks to Hugo and he says, we will take good care of her, Hugo. Do you need a hand? I'm totally good to give you a hand. He is not.
He cannot.
I got it covered. And then he's going to put his forehead to Anya's forehead.
Oh.
They're kind of odd sometimes. I apologize. If they do anything really dumb, let me know and I will handle it afterwards. I love you. I gotta go. And he's going to zoom off.
He said the thing!
We see you disappear in a burst of snipe speed as Anya stands there stunned. We cut to Amity and Damien again. The two of you are heading towards the cross hallway to get over to that building. And just so that like timelines align, we see already emerging and like halfway through the crowd to go up the stairs is Aidan, Raven, and Lena just walking together through the crowd. And they go up the stairs. You see them talk to King O, and then they follow him in. And Lena, from her like where she's standing on that like stair, just sort of becomes smoke again and drifts into like the top ceiling skylight area of this place.
I say if they see the two of you calmly walking at any point, then that'll take the urgency out of things and they can just stay out of the way and not like interrupt on radio or anything like that.
Amity shrinks her staff back down into a hairpin and tucks it into her hair and goes, I think we should wait a bit.
Do you happen to have cleaning magic or like dry cleaning specifically? As he like sort of gestures down at his shirt in front, which is covered in chocolate and marshmallow.
Yeah, I got something, but let's wait for Hugo to catch up so he's not confused.
Why are you guys just standing here? Shouldn't we be going?
It's okay. They're not under attack now. They were walking into a meeting.
Although Raven's dress looked pretty ripped up.
She did that before. It's fashion.
No, but like a little bloodied?
Oh.
Yeah.
I will also say, at this point, the three of you are approached by another figure as Prithvi Devon walks up and says, hey, has anyone seen Whittaker? And we cut to Whittaker outside in an alley behind the deep with Mason Wright.
What? Yes.
Square up, bitch.
I love that you're already here with me, Emery.
The earrings are coming off.
Are we just cutting to you and Mason fucking bare knuckle boxing in an alley behind the deep?
Yeah, he's getting fucking wrecked, dude.
Yes. You and Mason are in the middle of a fist fight in this alley. It's a harsh cut, Prithvi. Has anyone seen Whittaker?
And then like they turn their head quickly, and as they turn their head, the camera does a quick cut to Whittaker's face, slam into like a puddle on the ground. We see Mason sort of like cracking a knuckle and like shaking his fist out. He's like,
I know we do this every time, Mr. Whittaker, but aren't you tired of the same song and dance?
No, I think this time I've got you for sure.
I like your spirit, sir. Get on your fucking feet.
Whittaker gets up. I like to think Whittaker does get punches in, but they do just break his fingers every time.
yeah, it's no good.
Punching a statue.
Literally.
Yeah.
And then, much to Damien's dismay, he gets Mason's autograph right across his face.
All right.
Yep.
Harsh cut away from that. Well, we can do some like rolls if you want to next time.
No, I'll take the fail on this.
Okay. Amazing. We speed time up a little bit. We will catch up. We'll say that like Prithee, Amity, Damien, and Hugo are like looking for Whittaker, right? That's like the search is on to find Whittaker now that your leader is missing and without his earpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, back to Raven and Aidan. You guys leave King Octopus's office. And before you have time to like even exhale the stress of like that situation, Marissa and Tomas are like standing there waiting for you. And Marissa steps up and she's like, what the hell are you two doing? This isn't your op.
What are you two doing up here?
Our fucking jobs.
Which is what?
To monitor the deep.
God, that sounds so suspicious. I don't like it. I don't trust them.
Friendly reminder. You do have your lie detection thing.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, just pressure him. Say like, hey, why were you getting so cozy with him?
Are you monitoring or are you just straight up working with him? And she's gonna like gesture to his office.
Marissa looks to Tomas, goes to answer you, and then a voice comes on your earpiece, Raven.
Oh boy.
Oh god.
What now?
Agents, there's something going on at the pier. I need you all to respond now.
Nice.
There it fucking is.
Tomas immediately gets on an earpiece and he says, Director, what about ongoing assignments? And she just fires back, the other missions can wait. Get to the pier now.
Raven definitely rolled her eyes when he asked that.
Yeah. Marissa, just sour face, just looks at you and she's like, well, Brightwood? And Aidan looks to you, Raven, and she's like, I really like these dresses.
Me too.
She will take your hand, put a hand on Marissa, and Tomas is like, oh, this will be fun. And as soon as he puts his hand on Marissa's shoulder, the four of you teleport away.
Oh, this is gonna be a long night.
Damien, do you still have your earpiece?
Yes, he does.
You also got the order. And you are with Amity and Hugo right now.
Nice. Let's fucking go. Vigilante squad.
We see at the docks, gold flash, the Ramos twins, Aidan and Raven, appear in a flash to a scene of Aaron Pike's crew of like adventure researchers fighting these aquatic humanoids that have followed his submarine back to Portland's dock district.
Oh, shit.
There are gunshots going off. Aquatic combat, just carnage as other private boats are being ransacked by more of these Mero, the deep sea folk. We cut to Val. You are celebrating your win. And as you sit at the bar, coming out of his private office is King Octopus, followed by Alexander Harkness, the lich you stole your book of spells from, and Ops, the other escapee from Victoria Salem's gang, with her upper face visor covered in artifice lenses.
Christ.
She almost drops her drink.
And we cut to Olivia Easty in her private VIP booth on her phone, looking at a agency report. She puts it back in her pocket and then turns to the people in the booth she's with, and we see the chief of police is like in the midst of a yelling match on his phone, and she just says,
Gentlemen, there's no need to worry. The agency is already responding.
and that's where we'll end our session.
Christ.
Oh my god.
Oh,
She hasn't seen the state of her agents on their way.
and she doesn't have to.
Your Honor, I hate it.
Holy shit.
Well done.
Hey, you think this one will cut down to an hour and a half?
No.
Longest night of my damn life.
Thanks for joining us, adventurers. See you next time.
Help me. Save me, adventurer.
Help all of us.
God.
Perfectly fine.
I'm in so much danger.